You know what? It's been a while. It's only right.
Let's go!
That hurt my hand. Anyways, for today's video, we're going to be rebuilding the Miami Dolphins in Madden 25 without Tyreek Hill. There's been rumors floating around about Tyreek Hill, mainly since the end of the season last year, where he kind of flirted with the idea of potentially wanting to be traded from the team. He then kind of went back on what he said he wanted to stay in Miami. But ever since, there's still been a lot of rumors about him being traded, specifically on draft day. And I kind of feel like ever since the Tua era of this team started, they've been stuck at this weird little medium ground where they're never bad enough to have a good draft pick, but they're never good enough to make that playoff push and get to a Super Bowl. So I don't think trading Tyreek Hill would be the worst thing for this team to do, and that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to try to live out every Dolphins fan's dream and take this team to a Super Bowl. If you enjoy the video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 750 subs. We're still on the road to 1,000, and if you subscribe right now, you could have a chance to win a free NFL jersey, which there will be more about at the end of the video. But for now, please enjoy. And here we are with the 2025 Miami Dolphins roster with the loss of Teron Armstead. This offense is looking rough. The one good piece on our offense as of right now is about to be traded as well. Or I guess we have Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle as well, but you know, the only X factor 90 plus overall. Then I honestly think this defense needs a lot of work. They lost Calais Campbell in free agency. They lost Javon Holland. They cut Jordan Fuller. They cut Jordan Poyer. Don't have much linebacker depth. Don't have much to work with on the D-line. Don't have a very good secondary, so we're going to have to see what we can do with this team. So let's go ahead. Let's hop into the draft. Let's see what value we can get out of Tyreek Hill, and let's try to make this team better for this first season. So obviously the draft order is not perfect. We do pick at the correct spot. Now I wanted to trade Tyreek Hill to Dallas, but we'd be losing like 9 picks of value if we do that because they pick at 20 instead of 11 here. However, I don't think Tyreek would go for a first rounder anyway, so I really don't think it's that important. So I think let's go ahead and make our first round pick, see what we're working with, and then trade Tyreek a little bit further down the line. Well, I was going to go with Kelvin Banks, but it looks like he went pick number 6 to the Patriots. I actually don't really know where he's mocked to go in real life. I don't really think Will Campbell will be available at this spot. It's definitely possible, but I guess I'm going to go with Will Campbell because I planned on going with Kelvin Banks. But we're going to draft Will Campbell. We need some help on the offensive line. Teron Armstead just retired. Let's go ahead and try to find a replacement for him in Will Campbell, who I personally like a lot. Now, I'm not sure exactly what value Tyreek Hill would go for, but we're going to trade him to the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to give us their 3rd round draft pick for this year, and we're going to get their 2 and 3 for next year as well. I definitely don't think at Tyreek Hill's age that he's going to go for a first round pick. I could see him going for a 2nd and a 3rd, or maybe something like that. Something similar to what we just got for trading him here. So I think this is a fair trade. And then we're going to go with Shamar Turner here in the 2nd round. We really need to try to add some depth to this defensive line as soon as we can. I am going to try to draft a receiver in the 3rd round to try to replace Tyreek Hill, but I think our defensive line is more of a need right now. So let's go ahead and take Shamar Turner with our 2nd round draft pick. You know, he was ranked 225 in true value, but he has it in depth, so I'll take it. What better player to draft to the Miami Dolphins than Tez Johnson, 23 years old out of Oregon, elite excel, elite agility, elite speed. I don't think he'll be great as a rookie, but I mean, this is just the perfect fit to bring into Miami to try to replace Tyreek Hill. So we're going to go ahead and take Tez Johnson in the 3rd round. Ranked 34 in true value, has hit in dev. We're going to go ahead and leave the rest of the draft up to the CPU, and we're going to hop into the first year of this rebuild. So here's how the offense is going to look going into the first year. We added Will Campbell to the offensive line, and he's actually going to be our starting left tackle for this season. Our receiving core definitely needs some work, but I also think it could be a lot worse. Nick Westbrook-Akine actually had a pretty decent season for the Titans. He was an insane deep threat. Now, I don't think he's a good receiver. I think it was just like kind of a Gabe Davis season. By the way, if you fell for the Gabe Davis hype while he was in Buffalo, you're casual. But I definitely think we can make this offense work. I definitely don't think we'll be like a playoff team or anything like that in the first season, but I do think we can develop this into a pretty good offense. And then defensively, I'm glad we were able to add to the defensive line. We are definitely going to need to look to add to the secondary a little bit in the following years, but like I said, I don't think we're going to be very good this first year anyways. Now, one thing I've yet to address is Tua Tagovailoa. I am not a big fan of Tua. I know people are really back and forth about him, and I'm kind of just right in the middle. I definitely don't think he's a bad quarterback whatsoever. However, I don't think he deserved to get paid what he did by Miami. He hasn't gotten a playoff win. And other than his accuracy, there's really no strength to his game. He's not very mobile in the pocket. He doesn't have a very good arm, and he's just very injury prone. We'll probably keep him around in this video because he is very good in franchise, but if we get to a point where he's not playing very good and his contract comes up, there might be a world out there where we move on from Tua in this video, but we're just going to have to find out and play it by ear. So for this season, I'm just going to set our season goal to get 7 wins. The Dolphins have been floating around the 8 and 9 win mark for a couple years, and we just lost arguably our best player. So I don't think we're going to be making the playoffs or anything here. And then for scouts, I am going to go with receiver and corner. We just lost Tyreek Hill. We need to add more depth to the receiver group. And as I said, we need a lot of depth added to the secondary. So Alicia Trenkle will be our tier 3 scout. And I don't think we're going to be very good this year. So we're probably going to speed through this first year and sim straight to the end of the season. If there's any big re-signings or anything interesting at the midseason, I'll make sure to show you guys. But if that's not the case, I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. So I think the only important thing we're going to do here at the midseason is re-sign Jalen Phillips to a 3-year, $34.5 million contract, which he does accept. And then there's a couple other re-signings I'm going to make, but they're not that interesting. So I'll see you guys at the end of the season. All right. And just like the Dolphins probably will in real life, we go 9-8 and we sneak into a wild card spot, which I have no complaints about. I definitely didn't think we were going to make the playoffs this first year, but at least Madden got something somewhat realistic and the Dolphins went 9-8. It looks like we struggled on offense this year. It looks like we also struggled on defense. Our really only good statistical category was our passing defense for whatever reason. Tua was decent. He definitely struggled a little bit, but these aren't the worst numbers. He went for 3,700 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. I honestly expected Devon Achane to do better. He only averaged 3.5 yards per carry, got 9 rushing touchdowns. I do expect these numbers to get better as he continues to develop. Jalen Waddle went for just under 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Tez Johnson as a rookie over 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. This could potentially be enough to get him Offensive Rookie of the Year and get him a dev trade upgrade, which would actually be really big for this team. Westbrook Akide was okay. Jonnu Smith didn't really do anything. And then defensively, we got 10.5 sacks out of Jalen Phillips, so I'm glad we re-signed him. We got 6 out of Shamar Turner as a rookie. He also went for 8 TFLs. That's what you love to see. 5 sacks out of Zach Sealer. I would have liked to see more out of Chubb and specifically Chop Robinson. It looks like he didn't really do anything, so we'll try to make sure he gets more involved in the following seasons. We did win Offensive Rookie of the Year with Tez Johnson, so he should get a dev trade upgrade and be even better in the future. And we came in 3rd for Defensive Rookie of the Year with Shamar Turner. He had a decent year, but definitely not enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, so I'm okay with that. We got 1 award, we got a dev trade upgrade, and I'm happy with that. So we have a wild card game against the Ravens here. They are 7 overalls higher than us. They're playing at home. They went 13-4, have one of the best offenses and defenses in the league. This is a game the Dolphins would lose in real life, so I kind of hope we lose here. 42-21 sounds about right. Let's get year 2 started. Looks like we had a Bucks-Bills Super Bowl. The Bills barely take it 31-28. Josh Allen gets his first ring and wins himself Super Bowl MVP. And Tez Johnson does go up to superstar, so I think him and Jalen Waddle should be a very good receiving duo for the following years. And then we can either keep Westbrook Akine around or try to get a different wide receiver 3, but our receiving core is looking good. Will Campbell has negative morale, but he's sitting at about an 81 overall. I do think we still need more depth for this offensive line, and we should probably try to upgrade Jonnu Smith here pretty soon. And then defensively, we made the defensive line look a lot better. Our pass rush needs some work. Chop Robinson didn't do much. Bradley Chubb didn't do much. It looks like Hill actually went up to star dev, which is super helpful. Melifonwu went up to star dev as well. So the secondary looks slightly better, but this defense does still need a lot of work. We have 11 more players ready to negotiate, and with Melifonwu going up to star dev, I would love to bring him back. He's only 27 years old. I don't really want him on a 3-year deal. I'll try to give him a 2-year deal and just raise his money a little bit. So we're going to offer him 2 years, $13 million, and that is enough to bring him back, which means we'll probably be saying goodbye to the rest of these players. I could really care about re-signing Madison or Willie Gay. Zach Wilson, we're unfortunately going to lose him. We're probably going to lose Isaiah Wynn as well, but I think he'll be pretty replaceable. And then we're going to lose Jonnu Smith as well, so we're going to try to get a new tight end at some point before this season. We have $5 million as of right now. A little bit of money could free up before free agency, and we could have like $10 million to work with and see what we can do. And no, we actually had like no money free up. We still only have about $5 million. And of course, Mark Andrews is available, bro. That would have been such a good signing for us. There's actually a lot of players here that I would have loved to have. I just don't think we're going to be able to make it work. So we're just able to afford to send a pretty crappy offer to Kevin Byard, but we'll send it through anyways. We could really use another safety right now. If he doesn't accept, we don't really lose anything, and if he does accept, we gain a pretty good safety. It's looking like he's getting better offers, so we're not going to get him, but I think if we were to like restructure deals and try to get some of those free agents, we'd be setting ourselves up to be in cap hell for the next season. So let's just go ahead and get into the draft, try to build this team through there. I would like to add another receiver to the team and probably another corner as well, and we need to try to find a spot to draft a tight end, but we will have an extra 2nd and extra 3rd round pick for this season, so we should be able to make it work. So we're going to need to try to draft somebody on the interior offensive line. We're going to need to get a tight end. I would like to draft a receiver. If we're not able to, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. And then I like to get another corner as well, but that's another position where if we don't get one, it won't be the end of the world, and then we definitely need to draft another safety. We have enough draft picks, I think, to fill up all the holes. We just need to make sure that we do it the right way. So let's go ahead and hop into the draft. We're going to be picking at 20 this year, so let's get to pick 20. Let's see who's available, and let's try to make this team better so we can actually try to win a playoff game next year. All right, and there is a top 5 talent free safety, Chad Whitehead, 22 years old, out of Oregon. Elite excel, great jumping, great agility, great speed. He has A, awareness, catching, play rec, and zone coverage, B, hit power. This guy's a stud, so we're going to go with Chad Whitehead in the first round. He was the best player in the class, has a hidden dev. That was a very good pick. I'm glad I focus scouted that player, I'll tell you that much. We just got the best player in the class, let's go. And then we have 2 picks in the second round to work with here. It's looking like we're probably not going to get another corner in this year's draft. There's just not many draftable players available. There's a couple round 3 to 4 talents that I wouldn't hate taking way later in the draft, but I'm definitely not going to be worried if we don't get one of them. I will say Morris McLaughlin actually looks pretty decent. He's 23 years old out of Notre Dame. He has elite jumping and elite strength, so we don't really have a receiver like this. With A, spec catch, B, catch in traffic. With Jalen Waddle and this guy both on the outside, and we can have Tez Johnson in the slot, I think this could make our receiving core very good. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. I'm going to take a chance on Morris McLaughlin here in the second round. Ranked 28 in true value, so he's a round 1 talent. He does only have normal dev. I'm hoping that he'll be a high enough overall that we can start him over Westbrook-Ikhine and maybe just get him going as a rookie, and maybe we'll be able to develop him. This is a little bit of a reach, but we're going to go with Roy Griffin with our next pick in the second round. He looks pretty good. He's out of Miami, so he gets to stay at home. Elite agility, good strength, not the best physicals, but A, awareness and impact blocking, and then he has B, run block, lead block, and pass block finesse. So I think he'll be pretty decent. He honestly could be like a round 1 to 2 talent, so I don't hate this pick. We're going to go with Roy Griffin here. Ranked 50 in true value. We got him at 52, so that was a good value pick, and he has hidden dev and will probably be a starter for the offensive line year 1, so that was a good value pick. I'm actually going to go with another interior offensive lineman and Cole Rhodes. He's 22 years old. He doesn't have the best physicals, but he's very similar to the other guy, and we need help on the offensive line right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and take Cole Rhodes here in the third round. 57 in true value, another hidden dev, so we're adding good depth to the offensive line. We have one more pick in the third round that I'll make, and then I'll probably leave the rest of the CPU. If any of those round 3 to 4 corners are available, I'll probably take one and just try to bank on them having a dev trade, because that's really what we're going to try to go for here. And there is a couple round 3 to 4 talents still available, and one of them's only 21 years old, and he has elite excel, so I think we're just going to take a chance on Chris McCain and hope that he has hidden dev. Ranked 114 in true value, does not have a hidden dev, so that was a miss, but that's okay. I think we had a decent draft nonetheless, so let's go ahead, give the rest of the CPU, and let's get ready for your number 2. So the safety that we drafted in the first round is an 82 overall. That was a very good pick. We got a 74 overall receiver, a 73 overall guard and center. The corner we drafted wasn't very good, and the CPU didn't do much, but I still think we had a pretty successful draft, honestly. I just realized that I forgot to get a tight end. Hopefully we have some money so I can go sign somebody, because if not, this is gonna be bad. You know what? I like Zach Ertz. Let's see if we can pick him up. All right, so we added Zach Ertz to the offense. The offensive line is slowly getting better as well. The receiving core looks decent. I actually think I am going to start McLaughlin over Westbrook-Ikhine just to try to get him going as a rookie, because he has more upside. Westbrook-Ikhine is not going to get any better than he is right now, being a 29-year-old normal dev. And then we didn't really add much to the defense in that draft, but we did go out and get the best player in the class in Chad Whitehead. Already an 82 overall, and the season hasn't even started yet, and hopefully he'll have superstar or X Factor, which would be sick. So we're actually going to go ahead and trade Bradley Chubb to the Chargers for a third round draft pick. He didn't do much for us last season. I want to get Chop Robinson more involved in the defense. So if we can get a third round draft pick for somebody that I don't even really want right now, I'm going to go ahead and take that. Do I think he would go for a third rounder in real life? Probably not, but this is Madden, so I did it. I'm sorry. The season goal for this year, we may as well set it to make the playoffs. I didn't think we would make them last year, and we did, so may as well. Honestly, I think I'm going to leave the scouts the same. The receiver we drafted probably won't end up becoming anybody really good, and we didn't even draft a corner, so I'm just going to leave the scouts the same for this year. Let's go ahead and let's sim to the mid-season of year number 2, and let's check in with how the team's doing. All right, so we're 4-3 at the mid-season. I will definitely take that. Our offense is still struggling, so I probably need to mess with the offensive playbook a little bit, but our defense is actually playing pretty good this season. And Tua doesn't have many passing yards, but he's thrown 14 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, so I will gladly take that as of right now. Devon Achane still isn't doing anything too crazy, but he is averaging over 4 yards a carry, has 460 yards and 3 touchdowns, so I will take that. Morris McLaughlin as a rookie, not doing too much, has 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Tez Johnson and Jalen Waddle, both with about 350 receiving yards apiece. Jalen Phillips with 4.5 sack. We got 4.5 out of Raymond Rucker. I honestly forgot to mess with a specialist after trading Bradley Chubb, so Chop Robinson actually might not be getting as many reps as I want him to. Yeah, he only has 265 snaps played, so we'll mess with that a little bit. He does have a sack and a half on the season so far, so hopefully once I mess with the specialist, that number will go up. We have 18 players ready to negotiate. We have 120 million, so there's probably a decent amount of players here. We need to re-sign Devon Achane. He hasn't been playing too good. However, he's a 92 overall, 24-year-old running back. I'm going to re-sign him, but I'm going to give him 4 years, 40 million, and he re-signs. Jordan Brooks is not interested. He's already 28 years old. and I definitely think this is a replaceable position. So I don't think we're going to be re-signing Jordan Brooks, at least not right now. Our defensive line kind of sucks. Zach Zeeler's playing pretty decent and isn't asking for much money, so I'm going to give him 1 year, $12 million. And then honestly, there's really not as many players here as I thought there was going to be. We don't really have anybody that I think we need to bring back right now. So we still have $99 million, and there's no other players that I need to re-sign right now. That's a good position to be in. So definitely not the worst start to the season. Let me try to see if we can mess with the offensive playbook a little bit and maybe fix what's going on right now. All right, I messed with the playbooks a little bit. Let's go ahead and get to the end of year 2. Hopefully we can make the playoffs once again and at least get a playoff win, maybe. I still don't know if we're there just yet, but I think we're getting there. So let's get to the end of the season. All right, and we actually finished year number 2, 10-7. We find ourselves in a wild card game once again. We do have to go against the Chiefs in the wild card, so we're probably due for a first round exit once again. We are showing that we're getting slightly better. Offense still struggled a little bit. Our offense doesn't suck. It's just not very good. Our defense did kind of suck this year, though. Tua with a pretty similar stat line to last year. Definitely a little bit better, though. Threw just under 4,000 yards, almost 40 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions. I will definitely take those numbers. And Devon Achane had a way better season this time around. Over 1,000 rushing yards, 4.6 per carry, and 8 touchdowns. That's absolutely beautiful. Tez Johnson with just under 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle with just under 900 with 8 touchdowns. Westbrook-Ikhine found his way back into the roster. Went for 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. And Zach Ertz was decent. He's definitely not our long-term tight end, so I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, Chop Robinson just sucks. I made him a starter and he finishes with 3 sacks. We got 9.5 out of Jalen Phillips, 6 out of Zach Sealer, and 5 out of Shamar Turner. So our defense isn't terrible. Chop Robinson is terrible, though. We got 6 interceptions out of Jalen Ramsey. That is insane. No awards for the Dolphins this season, so I just kind of skipped through those. I'm sure y'all don't really care. But let's go ahead and hop into this wildcard game against the Chiefs. They are way higher overall team. They had a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense this season. We're playing at Arrowhead. This is probably another wildcard loss, so let's go ahead and send them to the divisional and get this out of the way. Yeah, we're going to lose 34-28. At least we were actually able to compete this time around. So we are showing progress. We just need to make that leap to the next level, start getting playoff wins, and try to get this team to the Super Bowl. Looks like we had a Ravens-Cowboys Super Bowl this year. The Ravens are going to take it. Lamar gets his first ring and a Super Bowl MVP. So Josh Allen and Lamar have both found a way to win a Super Bowl, so maybe Tua's next. Let's go ahead and see if there were any re-signings we missed out at the mid-season. We do have the 5th year for Chop Robinson, and even though this is fairly cheap, he just has not been playing good whatsoever. So I'm not going to pick up his 5th year. If he's good next season, I will re-sign him. If he's not good, I'm going to let him go. We're going to let go of Jordan Brooks. Yeah, I think we're going to let go of pretty much everybody, and we're going to have over $100 million to work with. So we have over $100 million to work with in free agency. Show me some good names, and let's take this team to the next level. Oh, wow. I really wish we could get Aiden Hutchinson. We probably could compete with how much money we have, but I just, like, for example, I'm going to offer him a 6-year contract where he gets $50 million a year, and let's just see where this puts us. It actually does put us at the top of his offers. I just don't think giving somebody $50 million a year is going to be... I just accidentally sent the offer through and we just got Aiden Hutchinson. Well, that's just how it goes sometimes. You know, I did not mean to do that, but he's here. So there's no going back anymore. And now if I wanted to get any of these players, I'm not able to. So that kind of sucks, but we can make it work. You know what I'm about to try to do is either going to work out great and we're going to win a Super Bowl here pretty soon, or we're going to keep going 9-8 and 10-7 and just be in cap hell for the future. So we're going to try to go for Rashee Rice. I honestly doubt he's going to sign with us. If he does, I don't even remember what I offered. It was probably close to like $30 million a year. And we're going to go for Henry. This guy, I don't even try to pronounce his last name because I just mess it up every time. I don't know. Let's just send these offers through and let's just see what happens, man. We don't get either of them. We're going to send it through again. And okay, we didn't get Rashee Rice, which is actually fine with me because that probably would have been really bad for the cap situation after getting Aiden Hutchinson. But let's just send him to the draft. I don't know if we're going to get the linebacker or not. If not, we'll draft one.
Original one is To'o.
Henry To'o. Got it. We also got Aiden Hutchinson, so that's pretty cool. So this defense really should not suck anymore. I feel like the defense is actually pretty good now, especially if we could go out and draft a corner this year, because we addressed safety last year. Melifon was still playing good. We need one more linebacker, but we have 3 good pass rushers now with a pretty good defensive line as well. I do think we could try to draft a pretty good receiver as well. We're probably going to need an offensive tackle here pretty soon, and we need a tight end, but if we can have a good draft, I do think we can make a playoff push this next season. So let's hop into the draft and let's try to get it done. We're just going to be picking at 20 every year apparently because we're just going to lose in the wild card. And there's actually a couple round 1 talent receivers that are projected to fall a little bit. If I wanted to be safe, I could go with Wade Herbert here in the first round, but I want to make sure I take a look at the rest of the draft class first. There's also a couple late round corners that I like. I honestly think we are going to go with the receiver in the first round. We're going to go with Wade Herbert. He's a round 1 talent. He honestly doesn't look very good. He has elite speed, elite excel, so he's perfect for the Dolphins. He has A spec catch, A carrying. I don't know. He's a round 1 talent. Let's go ahead and take him. Ranked 21 in true value. We got him at 20. That was a good pick. He has hidden dev, 97 speed, and 97 excel. I don't hate it. Okay, and one of the corners that I liked is still available in Dom Gabriel. He's 22 years old out of UCLA. He has pretty good physicals. B man, press, tackle, and zone, and he has A catching as well. I actually think this guy could be a round 1 talent. We're going to go with Dom Gabriel in the second round. Ranked 20 in true value. Why wouldn't he have a dev trait, bro? He got picked at 52 and was a top 20 talent and doesn't have a dev trait. This game just makes no sense. And here in the third round, we need to try to find the tight end of the future. With the playbook we're using, tight end is not too important, but we definitely still need one. I think the guy we're going to take is going to be Tyrell Graham, 22 years old out of Oregon. Elite strength, great speed, great excel, A awareness, A catching traffic. I think he'll be decent. Just have a dev trait, please. Ranked 60 in true value, hidden dev. That's what I like to see. We do have an extra third round pick, but I don't really know what I want to do with it, so I think I'm just going to leave it to the CPU, and we're going to get to the end of the draft. I think I did pretty good. We did get hosed out of one dev trait, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I forgot to draft a linebacker. Oh my goodness. I keep just having brain farts. I need to stop. I still think that was a pretty successful draft. We got a 75 overall receiver in the first round, a 75 overall corner in the second round. We got a 73 overall tight end. The CPU got us a running back, and they got us a linebacker. Thank God, because I forgot to do that. I think year 3 could get pretty interesting here. We're setting Tua up for success. Is he that guy? That's the question. So we're going to go ahead and make Herbert the wide receiver 3 so that he starts developing as soon as possible. Also throw him in the slot because that's just a cheat code in this game because of how terrible it is. He will easily win Offensive Rookie of the Year if I do that. But the offense looks very good. So I think we should be able to have a pretty good offense this year. The offensive line isn't great, but I think Madden just makes up its offensive line numbers anyways. That's why I never show them in the videos. But this defense is very good now. Chop Robinson won't really have to do much. He's been sucking anyways, so that's perfect. We got 2 new linebackers. Secondary looks decent. I still would like to draft a corner. I did draft a corner. He just didn't have a dev trait, so he's not going to turn into anything. But I don't know. I'm excited for this season. I still can't believe I accidentally signed Aiden Hutchinson. If that comes back to bite me later and we're just in cap hell, I'm going to be pretty upset with myself. Season goal for this year, I would set it to make the Super Bowl, but we're still yet to win a playoff game, so I'm just going to set it to be to make the playoffs once again. And I think I'm just going to leave the scouts the same again because we still need to draft a corner again. So let's go ahead. Let's just get to the midseason of year 1. Let's see how the team is looking. I'm hoping we can be above 4-3 because we've been 4-3 at every midseason so far. So let's just try to get to 5 wins at this midseason. That would be great. All right, and we're 3-3 at this midseason. I don't really know how to feel about that. We're basically just the same as every other midseason because we just happen to have a bye before the midseason this year. Offense still just not doing what I needed to. Like, am I really just going to have to use the Chiefs playbook? I tried to avoid doing it because it's just so cringe, but if you're going to make it the only offensive playbook that works, I may as well do it. We do have the 4th scoring defense though. We're 2nd in pass yards allowed and 3rd in rush yards allowed. So that's what you like to see. And Tua is putting up pretty decent numbers, which is good to see. Has just over 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Devon Achane with 4.6 per carry, 5 touchdowns. We could also find a playbook that's just going to feed Devon Achane the rock over and over again. Jalen Waddle with over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know why McLaughlin is in the game. I'm gonna have to mess with a specialist because somehow McLaughlin got thrown in the slot. And I need this to be Joe Stoffel. No, I need it to be Wade Herbert. So I'll go mess with that. Wait, I need to check the defensive numbers first. And Aiden Hutchinson has 8 sacks through 6 games. I love to see that. I like whenever I drafted McLaughlin and put him in the slot, he just didn't want to do anything at all. But then whenever I don't want him to be in the slot, he just throws himself in there anyways and just puts up the craziest numbers ever. Whatever. I'm switching to the Chiefs playbook. I didn't want it to come to this, but sometimes the game just makes you do it. Anyways, let's take a look at who we have to re-sign this midseason. It could start getting scary with the Aiden Hutchinson contract. We have $43 million. We need to re-sign Chop Robinson, Melifonwu, James Daniels. It's not getting too scary yet. I think we can make do with this, especially because I don't really think we're going to use Chop Robinson anymore. It'd be nice to keep him around because I don't know how long we're going to have Jalen Phillips, but even when Chop Robinson was playing, he wasn't doing anything. He's 24 years old. It is an 86 overall. I think we could get good value out of him, so I'm going to trade him now while we're able to. So we're going to trade Chop Robinson to the Panthers for their 2nd round pick, and we're also going to get their 2nd and 3rd for next season as well. That might be a little too much value because of the numbers he's been putting up, but if we factor in age and overall, I think we got fair value right there because I could have traded him for like 2 firsts if I wanted to, so don't get on my ass. Melifonwu's been playing pretty good though. I'll bring him back on another 2-year deal worth about $13 million. and he does resign. We'll bring back James Daniels as well. I'll give him a 2-year deal. We'll give him 2 years, $21 million. He's going to resign as well. And then honestly, I don't know if I'm going to resign anybody else here right now. We'll definitely come back at the end of the season and see if we want to bring anybody back. So we lost Chop Robinson, but I really don't think it'll matter like at all. Aiden Hutchinson's going crazy, and that's just more sacks for Jalen Phillips to get as well. So let's go ahead, get to the end of year 3. We're only 3-3 right now, but I switched to the Chiefs offensive playbook. So hopefully we'll finish with like 10, 11 wins and we can actually make a playoff push here this season. All right, and we have continued to just get a little bit better every single season. We finished with 11 wins this year. We are once again playing away in a wild card game, but we're playing a team that we are finally better than, so I will take that. And our offense did finish better, and our defense continued playing great. So I think this was a successful season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Tua goes for 4,500 yards, almost 40 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. This is a great season out of him, and the best season he's had so far. We'd love to see that. Achane with just over 1,000 yards, average over 4 yards a carry, got 9 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle goes for 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Tyler Graham as a rookie, just under 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. If he would have been in the slot the entire year, he could have put up Jalen Waddle numbers. Tez Johnson goes for almost 1,000 and 6 touchdowns. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Wade Herbert was Tyrell Graham. Tyrell Graham is the rookie tight end. That's crazy. Anyway, Wade Herbert goes for 500 yards and 9 touchdowns. I will take that. And this is what you like to see. We got 17.5 sacks out of Aiden Hutchinson, 8 out of Turner, 8 out of Sealer. We only got 4.5 out of Jalen Phillips, but when Aiden Hutchinson's getting almost 20, and then you have 2 other players with 8, I can see how it's hard to get sacks. And then we have 5 picks out of Ramsey, 2 out of Hill, and then 1 out of a few other players. MVP is going to go to Joe Burrow, but we should have gotten a couple of votes. We do come in 10th place. I feel like we deserved to be higher than that. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to Josh Allen. We don't have any votes on here. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett. We're going to come in 3rd with Aiden Hutchinson. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we do win with Tyrell Graham, so we should have our tight end for the future. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to the Jags. I don't think we really even had any defensive rookies, so I doubt we're on there anywhere. But we are in a wild card game that I finally think we should actually win. The Chargers did have a pretty good offense this year, but our offense was decent, and we had one of the best defenses in the league. So I do think we should win this game. We're a higher overall. We won more games. Let's sim to the divisional, and let's see if we can get our first playoff win of the video. And we do. We beat the Chargers. We barely squeaked past them. We beat them by a field goal. We're going to be taking on the 13-4 Bengals in the divisional round. They had a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. I don't even know how they did that, but we are still a higher overall. This should be a pretty fair game. I'm assuming the Bengals are going to win. They probably should, but we did get our first playoff win, so the season was a success anyway. As I'm saying that, we beat the Bengals by a touchdown to find ourselves in the AFC Championship against the division rival Bills. We're the same overall as them. We won the same amount of games. Our offenses were slightly comparable. Theirs was definitely better, but our defense was just slightly better. Another very evenly matched game. I'm assuming we're going to lose. The Bills are very good in franchise, but let's into the Super Bowl. Let's see what happens. And we do lose in the AFC Championship to the Bills. I will take it. That is the best season we've had so far. If we can make the team just a little bit better before next season, this could be us in the Super Bowl. And they have to take on the Eagles, so I'm assuming they're probably going to lose anyway. But Graham did go up to Superstar after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Lewis has Superstar as well, which is great to see. Kader Kohu's going to go up to Superstar, so the team is developing like we need it to. We're getting better. Next year might be our year. And the Eagles did actually end up winning the Super Bowl, so Josh Allen does not get a second ring. Jalen Hurts is actually going to get his second ring instead. Tua is coming for that ring, I'm telling you. He's coming. We have the 5th year for Will Campbell. $17 million is very affordable. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. We don't need to re-sign Jalen Wright. We could re-sign Patrick Paul. I probably will just because this is a pretty cheap deal. So I'll give him 2 years, $11 million. I still would like to replace him in the future, but that was just such an affordable deal. Zach Sealer's been playing good, but I feel like we could save this money and use it to get an upgrade in free agency. So we're going to unfortunately let Zach Sealer go. I think we're going to let everybody else here go as well. And we're going to have just over $40 million to work with in free agency. We can make this team even better. Xavier Worthy is going to be a free agent. That would be a pretty sick player to add to the team. We just don't really need him. But I mean, like, you can't tell me that wouldn't be pretty sick. I mean, Herbert's only an 83 overall. We could just have insane depth at the receiver position if we want and go out and get Xavier Worthy if we're able to. I don't know. It's pretty tempting. Let's just see who else is available. Let's hop into free agency. Let's see what we want to do here. And after losing Zach Sealer, Jalen Carter could be a pretty cool signing. This is risky. I'm doing it. It's going to be the only free agent we're going for. We're adding Jalen Carter to this defense. We now have Jalen Carter and Aiden Hutchinson on the same defense. We're about to have the best defense in the league. We're going to draft all offense this year or actually no, we're probably going to draft a corner and make the defense even better. And then we're just going to probably take best player off the board over and over again. We're going to about to have Jalen Carter and Aiden Hutchinson on the same defense. We're about to be in cap hell as well, so let's hope we win here pretty soon. But for now, let's go ahead and hop into the draft. And we finally don't pick pick at 20. We're going to be picking at 29 this year. We still have kind of been having the problem that the Dolphins have in real life, where we just haven't really gotten to have a good draft pick, but we've been drafting pretty decent regardless. So, and there's actually some good corners this year. Thank the heavens. There's a 21-year-old round 1 talent. He's not projected to go till later, so this is technically a reach, but we know he's a round 1 talent and he's the youngest one. He has great speed, elite agility. I don't know how this guy's a round 1 talent. He doesn't look that good. Actually, yeah, he looks pretty good. A stamina, A zone, A hit power, B awareness, catching, press, tackle. He looks pretty damn good. Let's go with Stephon Sapp here in the first round. Ranked 11 in true value, hidden dev. We finally drafted a good corner with a dev trait. Thank the heavens. Then we have 2 picks here in the second round. I kind of forgot about that. You know what? Very rarely is there a pretty good offensive tackle to take outside of the first round. Daniel Stanley looks pretty good. A awareness, A impact blocking, A pass block, and he's only 21 years old, and he's out of Miami. Let's go with Daniel Stanley here in the second round. Ranked 96 in true value, but I expected that, and he has hidden dev, so that was a pretty good pick. This is probably not going to be the best pick, but I would like to draft another pass rusher just for in case we do lose Jalen Phillips, and Sheriff Jones is a power rusher out of Oregon with A power moves. I don't think this is going to be a very good pick, but this is kind of just trying to prepare ourselves for the future. This is actually a much better pick than I thought. He's 45 in true value and has hidden dev. I actually really like that pick. I'll leave the rest up to the CPU. I think we did our job, but let's go ahead and get ready for year number 4. The team is insane now. I really do think we can make a Super Bowl push this year. We just need the offense to play good, and we're going to use the Chiefs playbook all year this time, so I do think we should be able to. And bam, we got a 76 overall corner in the first round, a 72 overall left tackle. We got a 74 overall DN. The CPU went out and got us a 74 overall guard as well, so another very good draft. The team is up to an 88 overall, and that's before the season has even started, and we've gotten all of our boosts and progression throughout the season. All right, and the roster is actually kind of insane now. Graham had a breakout season last year. He's about to go off once again and be insane by the end of the year. We have a good young receiving core for Tua. Devon Achane's been balling. We have a pretty good offensive line as well. And then this defense is just insane. We drafted Whitehead a couple years ago. He's the best player from the class, and he's still developing. Lewis had superstars, so he'll develop even more this year. We have Aiden Hutchinson and Jalen Phillips coming off the edge, and Jalen Carter in the middle of the defense. We still have Jalen Ramsey sticking around, and outside of that, we have some good depth in the secondary finally. This defense is insane. I think we should have one of the best defenses in the league this year. After making the AFC Championship last year and making the roster as good as we did, I think it's fair to set the season goal to win the Super Bowl. I'm pretty excited for this year. I think we're going to be good, so we're going to go ahead and just stem straight to the end of the season. I think we could potentially get 12, 13 wins this year and finally make our Super Bowl push. Let's get to the end of the season and let's find out. And I spoke that into existence. We finish year 4 14-3. We have developed up to a 91 overall. We didn't have the best offense in points, but we had a top 10 offensive passing yards, and we had the #1 scoring defense in the league. Let's go. By the way, hang on, I just got to show y'all something, because this has continued to happen every year. So JJ McCarthy threw for over 5,000 yards and 55 touchdowns, and he has been doing this like every season. He has 2 5,000 yard seasons, basically 3 50 passing touchdown seasons. Like, this is just insane. I hope he does that in real life. Shout out the Vikings. Anyways, Tua throws for 4,000 yards this year, just under 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not the craziest year. I'm guessing Devon Achane might have had a decent amount of touchdowns since Tua's numbers are so low. He had 12, so I wasn't completely wrong, and Tua had 6 rushing touchdowns for whatever reason. But Devon Achane went for 1,100 yards, averaged just over 4 per carry, got 12 touchdowns. Kez Johnson goes for 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. Terrell Graham goes for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle with a down year, just under 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. Just under 800 for Herbert too, and 7 touchdowns for him. And just take a look at how beautiful this is. We got 17.5 sacks out of Aiden Hutchinson, 15 out of Shamar Turner, 14.5 out of Jalen Carter, 8.5 out of Jalen Phillips. That is insane. We got 3 picks out of Jalen Ramsey, 2 out of Melifonwu, 2 out of To'o. That's what the YouTube video said, okay? That's how I'm pronouncing it. And then we got 2 out of Chad Whitehead. MVP is going to go to JJ McCarthy because he's just the best quarterback of all time, apparently. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Tank Dell. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Greg Rousseau. We came in 2nd, 3rd, 5th, so somehow didn't win it still. And then I doubt we won any of the Rookies of the Year because I barely even remember what we drafted. But that was a very successful season. Let's sim to the divisional and see who we're taking on. I will say, more often than not, when I get the first round bye, I feel like I lose in the divisional every time. And we have to go against the Ravens, which is really scary. But we're still a higher overall. We had a pretty comparable offense, and we had a better defense than them. I think this is a game we should win. We're playing at home. Can we please just make it to the AFC Championship? This is not the game I want to lose. I just knew that was going to happen, dude. I literally called that. And honestly, Tua's contract might be up. And normally when I get straight to the end of a season, I like stop at the midseason and look at the re-signings and everything. I was too lazy to do that this time around. So any of the contracts we had to make did not get done, but basic. I think Jalen Waddle's deal was up as well, but we do have over 100 million to work with. Looks like the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl this year over the Ravens. JJ McCarthy gets his first ring in a Super Bowl MVP. Everybody's just winning rings except for us. That's great. I don't know. Let's get into these re-signings. I'm sure it's going to start getting scary, but we still have a lot of money, so hopefully we can bring everybody back here. So we have the 5th year for Chad Whitehead, especially since he's not interested. I will gladly pick this up for $11 million. Tua is up for an extension. He is starting to regress because he has kind of hit that 30-year-old mark, but I will gladly re-sign him for 2 years, $69 million. I think that's a pretty fair deal, and he re-signs. We need to re-sign Waddle as well. He's actually not interested in the team, and he's 30 years old, so I'm probably going to let him hit free agency, and maybe we'll try to get an upgrade or try to draft somebody. Tez Johnson will go ahead and bring back. We'll give him a 3-year, $39 million contract, which he's going to accept. He got scammed. Shamar Turner has actually been balling out, so I'm going to make sure we get him back. We're going to offer him 3 years, $87 million. He's happy to resign. Kader Kohu's been playing pretty good as well. I'll gladly bring him back on a 1-year deal worth about $5 million. Tommy Hill's been playing good as well, and he's very young. He's not interested, but even 3 years, $19.5 million is not much money, so we'll go ahead and send that through. Jalen Ramsey, we need to resign him as well. I told you we were going to have to resign basically everybody. I'll bring him back on a 1-year, $9 million contract, which he accepts. We need to resign Jalen Phillips as well. We'll give him 2 years, $15.8 million. He resigns. We need to resign Rucker, but he's not interested. I don't think we can afford that, and then we can pretty much let the rest of these players go. So we won't have much money to work with in free agency. We do need to try to replace Jalen Waddle, so that's going to be pretty sketchy, but hopefully a little bit of money will free up. We have 14 million. We could probably get like a mid-tier receiver to try to replace Jalen Waddle here. No way, after JJ McCarthy has been going as crazy as he has, he hits free agency. And he's seeking $63 million a year. Wow, Jordan Love's a free agent as well. I honestly should have just let Tua go and try to get one of these guys. I don't think I would have been able to afford that, actually. So we were able to send an offer to Jalen Waddle. He's literally like the only good receiver available in free agency, and he actually accepts in wave 1, so that's good. We got Jalen Waddle back. I mean, we basically didn't really do anything in free agency other than keep the team together, but with how good our team was, I do think that's a good thing. I don't know how many more years we're going to do. I think we're about to hop into year number 5. If we get close to winning the Super Bowl, I might go one more. We're just going to have to see how it goes. I'm sweating ass though. I'm taking my pants off. So I really don't know what I plan to go for here in the draft. I don't really know what our needs on the roster are, because the offensive line still looks very good. Our tight end went up to X Factor. We have a good receiving core. With us almost losing Jalen Waddle, maybe we draft a potential receiver, because the defense looks good as well. I don't know. I'm probably just going to take the best player off the board. And normally when I try to do that, I always end up taking like the worst players off the board. So we'll actually see what's going to happen. I'll probably draft a receiver. You know, Will Allen looks pretty good. We'll take him. I didn't really look into it too much. He probably sucks. Yeah, he sucks a lot, but he has hidden dev. I think that's going to be the only pick I'm going to make. I genuinely don't even know what I want to take here. So let's get to the end of the draft. Let's get into hopefully the final year. Hopefully we can just win a Super Bowl this year so I can stop. All right, so the roster actually looks very similar to last year. Everybody's just a little bit better except for Tua, who's a little bit worse. I think we're just gonna do the same exact thing and expect different results. Let's get straight to the end of the season, and hopefully we don't lose our first playoff game this time around. All right, and in year 5, we go 13-4, which apparently wasn't enough to win our division because the Bills also went 13-4, and now we have to take on the Chiefs in the wild card, so that's just great. So Dylan Gabriel is a new quarterback for the Vikings, and he just casually goes for 45 touchdowns. Okay, bro. Anyways, Tua went for just under 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 picks. Not the worst numbers. Devon Achane over 1,200 yards, averaged over 5 yards a carry, only 8 touchdowns though for whatever reason. Tyrell Graham with over 900 yards, 10 touchdowns, over 900 out of Tez Johnson as well. And then we got just under 800 out of Jalen Waddle and 700 yards out of Morris McLaughlin. And our defense balled out once again, 16.5 sacks out of Hutchinson, 13.5 out of Phillips, and 13 out of Jalen Carter. So, I mean, I'm trying my best here. You can't say I'm not trying, okay? Doesn't look like we won any awards this year. I don't really care. I just want to win a Super Bowl. So I'm just going to pray we get lucky here, and I'm going to send straight to the Super Bowl. And if I don't see my team on the screen, we might have to call it. Boom! Let's go! I was totally not expecting that to actually happen. Let's see what happened here. So we beat the Chiefs by a touchdown in the wild card. We moved on to play the Ravens. We got our revenge on them, beat them by 4. And then we barely beat the Colts, beat them by a field goal. And We're going to be taking on the Chicago Bears here in the Super Bowl. Let's go. Chicago Bears are an 88 overall. They went 10-7, had a pretty bad offense and an okay defense. I don't even know how this team's in the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams up to a 97 overall. Roma Dunze's up to a 92. Let's take a look at the roster, see if we got any dev-ups, and then let's hop into the Super Bowl and get this video over with. So I don't think we got any dev-ups on the offense, but everybody just looks like this offense is very good. Now, if you thought the offense was good, just take a look at this defense. I don't think we got any dev-ups on the defense either, but the corner we drafted did end up having superstar, and the defense is just insane. Aiden Hutchinson, Jalen Phillips, plus Jalen Carter, and Shamar Turner was one of the best draft picks I made this video. I thought it was going to be a whiff, but he ended up being one of the better D tackles in the league, so that was a great pick. So I don't think we got any dev-ups on the year, but let's hop into the Super Bowl. I'm going to be playing a drive with the team, and we're going to try to see if we can beat the Chicago Bears, and we're going to live out every Miami Dolphins fan's dream. It looks like we're going to be starting with the ball on offense. Fortunately, normally whenever I do this, the other team just goes down and scores every possession, but I think with how good our defense is, I don't really think we'll have to worry about that. No, I forget that Tua's our quarterback, so we got to keep that in mind, that we don't have much arm strength. So we're going to give the ball to HN here. We're going to see if we can get something going. We got to get the ball moving and make our defense's life easier. Oh, there's so much room to work with here. That's going to be a first down. Let's go. Ooh, a little jet touch pass to Jalen Waddle here might be nasty. Now, this is old Jalen Waddle, so he's probably sitting around like 94, 95 speed, but he still should be faster than mostly everybody else, except our tight end got absolutely manhandled, so it didn't go as planned. All right, let's just make a good read here. Let's just make a good read. Oh, step up, Tua. Get out of there. Oh, please don't fumble, please. Tua's like that, and he actually survived the hit. So 3rd and 1. I kind of like this play. I feel like somebody's bound to get open here. I feel like if we run the ball, I'm running a risk. Actually, no. I think HN can get 1 yard. Okay, I was running a risk, but he did get 1 yard, so I was right both ways. I do go both ways. All right, let me lock in. I'm about to throw this zig. It's going to be wide open, and Tez Johnson's going to go all the way to the crib. I lied, but we do get to 2nd and 1. Honestly, bro, I might hit play action and throw a bomb here. I'm not even going to lie. Come on, Waddle. I know you just want to get wide open and let me throw it to you in the end zone. Okay, he does not. Oh, no, I'm so used to scrambling to the right because I'm so used to right-handed quarterbacks. If I would have scrambled to the left, I probably could have made something work there, but I sold, and I admit it. So I don't know why McDonald's in the game, but we need 1 yard, and hopefully he's able to get it for us because for whatever reason they took HN out. And he did get the 1 yard, so maybe coach knows what he's doing, okay? Should we try another touch pass? This one's going to go to Tez Johnson, who's probably faster than Waddle at this point. We just need our blocks to kind of hold this time around. Come on, Johnson. Go. Go. Turn on the burners. He did not turn on the burners. The trailer was still hitched. You know, I'm trying to make something cool happen for y'all, but I just really can't do it. I just kind of suck at this game. Tua can't throw it very hard. I don't know what you want from me. Let's just hit Waddle. Another 3rd and 1. I swear we've gone to and 1 like 100 times this drive. I accidentally picked another power formation, so Achan's not in the game, but I trust McDonald to get it. His name is McDonald, like he's a thick boy. My O-lineman kind of got in my way there, but I was able to get it anyways. Screw it, let's come out in 5 wide. I mean, somebody's got to get open here, right? Ooh, that felt like such a good throw. Tua just throws it so slow. Like, I really felt like that was about to be a touchdown, and then the ball is just like, come on, HN. Make my life easier. That was all my fault. That was my fault. That was my fault. 3rd and 11. I'm selling. That's normally about how it goes. Let's just see if HN can hopefully get open on this little route here. I think he will be. Good throw by Tua. HN outruns everybody. We're in the end zone. We're up 7-0 in the Super Bowl. We're going to let the CPU play out the rest. I think if our defense can just get a couple stops where they should be able to, I think we can pretty easily win this game. So let's see what happens. Bears go down and get a field goal on their first drive. We're going to get back down the field, and we're going to get a touchdown to go at 14-3. Defense gets a stop. Bears get the ball back to open up the half. Go down the field, get a touchdown and a 2-point. So we're only up by 3. Our offense gets down the field, gets another touchdown. We take a 10-point lead. Jalen Ramsey gets an interception. We get another touchdown. That should be about all she wrote. It's 28-11, and we have the ball late in the 4th quarter. The Miami Dolphins are Super Bowl champions, baby. Let's go. Tua threw for 4 touchdowns. Caleb Williams struggled. He went 13 for 19, 140 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. But Tua, 19 of 22, 170 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Devon Achane averaged 4 yards a carry. He was great. Tyrell Graham with 50 yards and a touchdown. Tez Johnson with 40 yards and a touchdown. Devon Achane had 30 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. He balled out. And then we had a sack out of Jones, a sack out of Hutchinson, and we can't forget about the Jalen Ramsey interception. I'm assuming Tua probably won a Super Bowl MVP. We'll go ahead and check that out, and then we'll get the video wrapped up. And your 2029 Super Bowl MVP is Tua Tagovailoa. I think we built a great roster. We made an insane defense. We had Aiden Hutchinson and Jalen Carter and Jalen Phillips all on the same defense, and Jalen Ramsey. That was crazy. We did a great job. We kind of did like the opposite of what the Dolphins do with this whole crazy offensive scheme, and we just made a crazy defensive scheme instead, and it worked out. So Dolphins, trade away Tyreek Hill, get some extra draft picks, and then just wait around until 2029 and you'll win the Super Bowl, and you'll have Aiden Hutchinson on your team too. That is going to be it for this video. If you made it this far, you clearly enjoyed, so please make sure you leave a like on the video because it helps out a ton, and please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe right now, you could have a chance to win a free NFL jersey. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, take a screenshot, and send it to me on Instagram, which will be at the top of the screen right now. If I get a screenshot on Instagram of you being one of the first 1,000 subs to the channel, you'll be entered into a giveaway for a free NFL jersey. If you're already subscribed, you can enter as well, by the way. We just hit 750, so I appreciate you guys. If you are subscribed, make sure I get that screenshot on Instagram because you could win the jersey. You never know. I appreciate every single one of you. Please comment any team you'd like to see rebuilt in the future. You can get your comment put in a video. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Never forget that. That's going to be all for this one. Deuces. I don't even got pants on right now. It's hot in here.